Welcome to the Jeremy Belfance podcast. My name is Jeremy Belfance. Now, with all the craziness going on in our world today, I would like to talk about three stories that really jumped out at me. The first story that I want to talk about is out of Oklahoma. Early Wednesday morning on New Year's Day 2020, Miss Rebecca Hogue, who works at a bar, had returned home after working a 12-hour shift, only to find her 2-year-old son Ryder dead, and that her boyfriend Christopher Trent had disappeared. 4 days after Ryder's death, police found Christopher Trent in the Wichita Mountains dead after an apparent suicide. A coroner's report concluded that Ryder's cause of death was blunt force trauma, and prosecutors later said that it was clear that Christopher Trent had killed Ryder. Miss Rebecca Hogue said she had begun noticing that Ryder had minor unexplained injuries. However, she had no idea that Christopher Trent was abusing Ryder until after his death. Prosecutors did say that Miss Rebecca Hogue searched on her phone for warning signs that a child might be being abused, suggesting that she felt her son might be in harm's way. Miss Rebecca Hogue was ultimately convicted of first-degree murder of her son Ryder under Oklahoma's controversial failure to protect laws that parents who fail to protect their children from child abuse can be charged with the same crimes as the actual abuser. There were words that had been carved into a tree that said Rebecca is innocent. The jury was not allowed to see that image of the tree carving, and they were not allowed to hear a recording of the lead investigating detective saying that he doubted whether Miss Rebecca Hogue had committed a crime. Judge Michael Tupper suspended the life in prison sentence recommended by the jury to 16 months, but will only spend 13 months due to time already served. Miss Rebecca Hogue's case drew significant attention from the media and women's rights groups after she was charged with first-degree murder under the failure to protect law. Okay, I'm fired up right now. I cannot believe this. This is absolutely ridiculous. How in the world can Miss Rebecca Hogue be convicted of Ryder's murder? And the jury wanted her to spend the rest of her life in prison? Unbelievable. Christopher Trent was the one who murdered Ryder. So let me get this straight. The prosecutor said that she was searching on her phone warning signs that a child might be being abused. Well, I've got news for the prosecutors. There is a key word in that, and that is might be. That is not evidence or proof that Christopher Trent was abusing Ryder. In my opinion, the fact that it wasn't until after she began noticing the minor unexplained injuries on Ryder and started searching on her phone for warning signs that a child might be being abused suggests that she had never been abused by Christopher Trent, nor did she ever see Christopher Trent be abusive to her son Ryder. Otherwise, she would not be searching on her phone warning signs about a child might be being abused. If Miss Rebecca Hogue had seen Christopher Trent abuse Ryder, or had Christopher Trent abused Miss Rebecca Hogue, then there is no need for her to do a search on her phone for warning signs of a child might be being abused, because she would have known that it was Christopher Trent that had caused the minor unexplained injuries. And even know that Miss Rebecca Hogue started to get suspicious, or she thought that it could be possible that Christopher Trent was abusing Ryder, that is not evidence or proof. If a crime is committed, the authorities cannot arrest someone because they feel or they suspect a specific person that committed the crime. They have to have evidence linking that person to the crime. And if the authorities cannot arrest someone on feelings or suspicion, how can you expect Miss Rebecca Hogue to do anything unless she has evidence that shows that Christopher Trent was abusing Ryder? So for the prosecutors to even use that as an argument is absolutely ridiculous. And as far as I'm concerned, there are real problems with this case. You know, this recording of the lead investigating detective saying that he doubted where Miss Rebecca Hogue had committed a crime? I have a real problem with Judge Michael Tupper not allowing the jurors to listen to this recording. And while he suspended the life in prison sentence to 16 months, how do you keep a key piece of evidence from the jurors that could possibly exonerate Miss Rebecca Hogue? And quite frankly, it should have never got to this point in the first place. The only one responsible for Ryder's death is Christopher Trent. Now, in regards to the jurors, even though that they were not allowed to listen to the recording, the fact that they found Miss Rebecca Hogue guilty and recommended life in prison, this is a disgrace, and they should be ashamed of themselves. All right, now I would like to get to the second story. The second story comes right out of Macon, Georgia. In December 2021, just before Christmas, Kathleen Zini, her husband, and 3 children were moving from Florida to Alabama. They decided to stop off for the night at a hotel in Macon, Georgia. The next morning, Kathleen Zini's husband was looking out their window, and he said the U-Haul's gone. They were left holding nothing but the key to their U-Haul and nothing else from their stolen rental truck. The surveillance video from the hotel shows around 11:23 p.m. that there were 3 men who were walking toward the truck, and within a matter of minutes, they hopped in the truck, started the truck without any keys, and away they went. Days later, the truck was found, but the only thing that was inside the truck was an upright piano and some children's toys, according to photos provided by the Zini family. Inside one of the boxes that was stolen, the thieves found a checkbook and compromised Kathleen Zini and her husband's bank accounts when someone in the Atlanta area tried to cash 3 stolen checks from anywhere between $700 to $900 each, which the bank did cover the losses. U-Haul finally refunded Kathleen Zini and her husband after their issue had to be escalated several times. Nobody would ever think that if they parked their rental truck with all of their belongings in the hotel parking lot, that they would wake up in the morning to find their truck had been stolen. I know that it can be hard losing everything that you worked hard for, or losing something that provided memories of special events that took place in your life. But the best news is that this family was not harmed in this situation, and at least they are alive to tell their story. Their situation could have been a lot worse. They could have arrived later that night at the hotel around 11:23 p.m., and when Kathleen Zini, her husband, and their 3 children had all gotten out of that truck, the three thieves could have approached them, and things could have gotten out of control real fast. The 3 thieves could have been carrying guns, and the whole family could have all been gunned down. There are going to be times where you're going to go through difficulties in life, but this is a perfect example to praise, thank God, and count your blessings. I know it's easy to think, hey, we lost everything. Well, not exactly. You may have lost materialistic things, but one thing that you didn't lose was your life. And when it comes to family, there is no materialistic thing that is more valuable than family. The third story is out of Pennsylvania. Now, this is a really sad story here, but I'm gonna go over this one here. Miss Christina Spikuza, a mother of 4 who was an Uber driver, had disappeared on February 10th, 2022 after giving a ride to Calvin Crew. On Saturday, February 19, 2022, Miss Christina Spikuza was found dead after an Amazon driver spotted her in a wooded area roughly 40 feet from a road in suburban Pittsburgh. She had died from a single gunshot wound. Her Nissan Sentra was found 2 miles away. Miss Christina Spikuza also had a dash cam that had been inside her car that was recovered near where the Uber trip ended. The dash cam that was inside Miss Christina Spikuza's car captured Calvin Crew allegedly pointing a gun at her neck as she drove and told him, "I'm begging you, I have 4 kids." Calvin Crew allegedly shut off the dash cam and threw it from Miss Christina Spikuza's car. Calvin Crew was charged with criminal homicide, robbery, and tampering with evidence in the death of Miss Christina Spikuza. In a statement to WXPI, Miss Christina Spikuza's fiancé, Mr. Brandon Marteau, said that other female Uber drivers had reached out to him to say that they believe the company provides insufficient safety measures. Mr. Brandon Marteau noted that he had received no condolences from Uber and said, "In the first extremely critical hours of my wife's disappearance, when every second mattered, I feel that I could not have received less help from Uber, even though I was attempting to move mountains to find Christy. I don't want to see this happen to someone else's sister, daughter, or wife," he added. Uber needs to protect its drivers more, and it starts with Christy. According to a website, TheVerge.com, an article that was written on December 5th, 2019 shows the Uber numbers that were released from the first time in its history comprehensive safety report about its rides spanning all of 2018 and part of 2017. The report discloses that 3,045 sexual assaults occurred during Uber trips in 2018. Additionally, Uber says that 9 people were murdered during Uber rides and 58 people died in auto-related crashes. Wow, this is unbelievable. I'm shocked and appalled. These numbers are outrageous. Uber should also be held responsible for the death of Miss Christina Spikuza. They obviously have not done enough to protect the drivers or the riders, and in my opinion, Uber from the very beginning should have provided company cars with safety measures that protect the drivers and the riders. Uber should have had something in their cars that kept the drivers and the riders separated to prevent the drivers or the riders from putting their hands on each other or from any of them being shot. This is another perfect example of what I was saying in my first episode, tomorrow is not a guarantee. We don't know what will happen today. Uber needs to get their act together and take this seriously, and they need to make some serious changes to ensure the safety of all drivers and riders. Well, folks, I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to listen to my podcast. Please stay tuned for more episodes to come. God bless y'all.